such a long time. Feels like something's wrong with me. Floating around ecstasy, trying to reach you helplessly, just so I can tell you that I've been thinking about my home.
Well, this is quite a view from up here. It's not very often that somebody at my height is looking down on anyone. But I want to welcome all of you. Good afternoon, and this is an incredible event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Everett Station. At the opening of Everett Station, then Governor Gary Locke talked about the importance of transportation innovation and how it would help Washington residents grow and prosper. As a father of two young children, former Governor Locke talked about how he understood firsthand how important these issues are to the next generation. Now, a decade later, we celebrate Everett Station as a success story for the city of Everett, and we've made very effective use of this resource that has improved access to transportation, education, and career development. Everett Station is a regional center providing one-stop modes of transportation, which include Everett Transit, Sound Transit, Community Transit, Greyhound, Amtrak, and taxi service. But it's much more than that. Everett Station is a community focal point for the celebration of culture and art, featuring the work of 16 artists, including the beautifully restored Callahan murals, which were donated to the city by the Weyerhaeuser Foundation, along with a check for $30,000 for their restoration. Now it's a great pleasure, after 10 years in operation, to rededicate Everett Station. All right. Congratulations, Bob. And thank you all for being here today and for recognizing this great facility for our community.
I'm a really big admirer of this project, and I constantly make references when I speak around Region 10 and 4 state areas and back in Washington, D.C. It's really one of my favorite projects for about 3 reasons. One is the vision, 2, the partnership that the mayor talked about, and then urban design. The city transformed what could have just been, we build a lot of very functional transportation hubs, and they're very functional, but the city of Everett wanted something more, and as you see now, a very vibrant mixed-use center. Co-locating university classrooms and community meeting space with a transportation center really was a very perfect strategy. Now, my boss, FTA Administrator Peter Rogoff, talks a lot about the concept of leveraging federal investments. So we put money into this, but there are a lot of local resources, as the mayor talked about. And you really created a spectacular project, and it does foster economic development when you have this kind of a centerpiece. So based on that vision, Everett Station is another example of the power of partnerships. FTA provided almost $28 million for this project. And those grants were literally the foundation upon which the City of Everett, Sound Transit, State of Washington, Amtrak, Boeing all contributed the remaining funds to pay for this ambitious project. Now, everyone who advocates for livable communities recognizes that high-quality urban design makes a big difference in designing the character of a neighborhood and of a downtown. So, in my opinion, Everett Station really joins other distinguished Northwest designs like King Street Station down in Seattle and Union Station in Portland as classic examples of high-quality architecture. You can have a good architect, but you have to have a good client. So the City of Everett was a very good client and owner. You can see it's well-maintained and funding partner for this project. So again, thank you for including FTA in today's comments.
So today we're celebrating a building not because it's a beautiful building, but because of what it embodies, and it embodies a spirit of partnership and collaboration. And that's really what WorkSource is all about. And for those of you who are not up on the minutia of the Workforce Investment Act of 1999, when Congress wrote it, They envisioned a place that's called a one-stop center where people could come from all over and have every one of their employment needs met in one space. So what that means is, if you go into our WorkSource room, you will find people who work for Employment Security Department, who work for Refugee and Immigrant Services, who work for Track Associates, who work for ResCare Workforce Services, and Volunteers of America, and AARP, and you won't know that because they'll all be wearing a WorkSource name tag, and they're all gonna provide you with amazing service. But they're all working together under this beautiful name, WorkSource. And in the 10 years we've been in this building, we have served 120,000 people. That's pretty amazing. That's 120,000 people who have gone to resume workshops, who have used the fax machines to send their resumes out, who've attended workshops on how to fund their post-secondary education. And that's 120,000 people who have been touched by the hiring events that we have here. We actually have employers come in and do interviews on site, and people leave this building with job offers in hand. So it's times like that when I'm very proud of our community. When we all work together and partner, we really are greater than the sum of our parts. Thank you.
I am absolutely excited to be here this afternoon. I can remember the day we opened the facility. That was, there was a couple of newly elected officials who helped turn a little dirt, and we had to tell them the big end of the shovel went down and not to try and hurt themselves or anybody else. But I remember that was a day of great anticipation, and to stand here 10 years later and be asked to participate in this celebration means a great deal to me. More and more people are finding ways to incorporate public transportation into their daily lives, and as you can see here at the Everett Station, we offer them a number of options. In fact, there are more public transportation providers at Everett Station than any other single point in the entire central Puget Sound region. Building Everett Station certainly had at its core this idea of public transportation and this idea of citizen service. But to stop now and think that 17 million people have used this station to get to their jobs and home to their families, the impact is huge. Think about that for a moment. Everett Station, in every sense of the word, has delivered. I've also got a fondness for this station because it was the original site of the University Center of North Puget Sound, which has since moved on to Everett Community College and WorkSource Washington. Looking at Mayor Stephenson here, when communities come together and provide an opportunity, such as we did for University Center of North Puget Sound, now that has blossomed into involvement with Washington State University to bring baccalaureate degree and engineering degrees to this region as well. So you start somewhere, then you have good leadership that takes that even further. And this station, both in a physical and community sense, certainly makes that point. So that's the key. The cornerstone of all of the activities that address public transportation, all the service it provides to the citizens of this region started here 10 years ago. Everett Station's first dedication was a huge success, and I know we can continue to count on good things from it in the future. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon.